Sorry. I just dropped the net from one.
Welcome to the fucking Zimmer vlog.
Oh wait, it's Matt's. Hey! That's my going on, man?
As you can see, everyone's really excited that it's the time trial day. Stage 3 is at Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas, and it's an uphill time trial with a slight downhill towards the top. And it's just it's a pretty brutal course. It's really easy to go out too hard and not save enough for the last little bit. Here's the course profile. You can see a lot of twists and turns at the bottom, a bunch of switchbacks before rounding out at the top, and kind of just a last 2K kicker. This profile almost doesn't do it justice. It's pretty steep. I think it averages 7% most of the way up, with a fast downhill where you super tuck and kind of save as much speed as you can for the last little roller up to the finish line here. We got Joel getting some sweet footage.
How's that?
Spencer just finishing up. Second guy after Dennis just to finish. And it's just brutal effort. It's really cold, so it's hard to get the legs going and really hurt the lungs. Here I am just coming in. I felt like I did a pretty good job. I kind of hit the target power I was looking for on the climb. My finish time was 10:07. I think I was 14th fastest when I crossed the line, but finished 26th after all the guys that were further up in GC went. And that pushed me up to 17th GC. And going into the crit tomorrow, this is kind of the last day to make up or lose any spots in GC for the most part. Here's Scott coming up to the car, pretty blown.
Do you get any water?
But yeah, just a tough day, especially after two hard road races the 2 days before. And finally, we're to stage 4, the crit. This crit last year, the GC was actually won off of time bonuses in the crit, so it's a really technical course. A lot of corners. It's tied up here on this top section. You can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners. And a bunch of them are really tight, and the course is on a hill, downhill on the backstretch, and the finish line is on this this uphill up Church Street. So here we are getting rolling. Lapped my Garmin a little late, but it says it's 64 out, but that's a lie. I think it readjusts itself here. I think it was only like 48 degrees or so. So kind of a chilly day, especially after the first day it was like in the 90s. So. But no rain. Last year it rained a lot for this course, so it was really hard. And kind of just take you through this first lap. You guys can see what the course looks like. Here's this part's mainly downhill, pretty fast. It's always pretty strung out going down this stretch of road before we shoot into this left-hander. After this left-hander, it's the majority of the downhill. It's really fast. It's pretty rough too. There's a lot of stamped concrete intersections. I'm going over some right here. Camera's kind of bouncing all over the place, but people's bottles are always flying all over the place. And it's a left-hander at the bottom of this corner, where if you're at the front, you don't have to brake. It's real fast, but if you're more than, I don't know, 15 wheels back, you're going to be jamming up the brakes, especially with people flying up the inside, trying to make up spaces and move up as easily as they can with as less energy as they can use. Here's that fast left-hander. And this next left-hander, for some reason, a ton of guys kept washing out on this turn. There wasn't anything special. I think there was just a little dust. There was some construction going on that far corner you can see. I don't know if it was putting dust out onto the road and people were just slipping or clipping pedals, but it seemed like every 4 or 5 laps somebody was hitting the ground there. Nothing major, just kind of sliding out. But this is the slight uphill part before we make the right-hander onto the start-finish. This part's pretty tough too. People are always trying to move up, which makes it a lot harder for everybody. It's pretty strung out. And you can see heading up the start-finish line here. pretty good little kicker. It hurts a lot, especially once you cross that start finish and make it into the left-hand turn. It hurts, especially after an hour and a half of doing it. But today, the goal was to get a breakaway. Usually makes it, so we were really trying to mark the breaks. And there's a couple of threatening groups that Dennis and Scott were in. Dennis helped Scott get up to the one move. I think it was about 10 guys, but it had a lot of the bigger teams in it, so we knew it was a threat. And that move didn't work out. People were really antsy, the brakes kind of kept coming and going. So nothing really stuck. Ended up being a field sprint. I'm trying to help Scott here. We only got a couple laps to go, and the pace is really picking up. It was a hard race overall. I think I averaged like 330 watts for 90 minutes, so definitely not a walk in the park. And that's with a downhill where you're coasting every lap, so it was definitely full on all day. Scott and I are moving up on the inside, up the start-finish line here. I was trying to do everything I could to get him in a good position because we knew it was a good course and a good finish that would suit the kind of rider Scott is, as it's the same finish from Stage 2's road race, same uphill finish where Scott got 10th. So we were hoping we could get him a little higher up going into the sprint because we knew he could make up spots on the hill. But we kind of started to get separated with one to go. He's up ahead somewhere. We kind of got separated on the downhill. It was swarming a lot. It was basically the last chance to move up for anybody, so it was really swarming. And here we are coming into the last time up this damn hill. Definitely started to get old after 3 days of racing as well. The legs weren't super hot, but Elevate ended up taking the win with UHC in second, and H&R Block rounded out the podium for third. We didn't really get the result we were looking for. Scott ended up 22nd, which afterwards, after our little debriefing about what happened during the race, he said he was pretty fried from him and Dennis bridging up to that move earlier on, and I think he kind of ran out of bullets coming into the finish. But it ended up being a really good week, especially for the first major race of the season that we were doing. It was a lot of fun, and good to get back with the team and race and get some more experience under our belts. I ended up finishing 17th GC, exactly where I started the next day, so not terrible, but we are definitely looking for more. But hey, that's racing, so we'll see you guys next time.